CorridorCast intro.
Welcome back to the Corridor Digital Podcast, everybody. Episode 153. Sam got the last episode number wrong. It's okay. We corrected it with text, on-screen text.
I saw that.
That's
That was
what
really
we
funny.
did.
What up?
Also, I saw a lot of requests for putting our pictures on screen from the last one. So if we do pictures in the future, we'll make sure they end up on screen.
Yeah,
But-
they'll go on the screen.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll make
That was
sure.
a fun one. I'm glad you guys did that. Wow, did you guys nerd out hard?
Yeah.
It was great. It was great.
It was exhausting.
Yeah, I promise
exhausting
this
watching
episode's
it.
not about AI.
Yet.
Yeah.
Anyways, no, we're not talking about
This
just-
episode is about Son of a Dungeon, everybody.
Yes.
Before we talk
Gang's
about
all
Son of
here.
a Dungeon,
Yeah,
congratulations on having 155 podcast episodes, guys.
Thanks.
oh yeah.
I think this is 153, Carmichael. So
Congratulations on having over 150 episodes.
That's pretty sweet.
yeah, we're still honing in on what the hell this thing is, but it's getting there, little by little.
Doesn't need to be more
Day
than
by
what it
day.
is.
Yeah, yeah.
No, I have thought about changing the name of it to something
Oh.
more apt to like the relevance of the topics of the show. For
Like some
people who
witty
maybe
thing?
don't know what Corridor Digital is, maybe they would be more interested in like
Hunter Street.
a named podcast.
Mm.
But
Yeah, Son of a Dungeon.
Yeah.
That was an exciting drop.
Yeah.
Wait,
It's
what's the timeline in this podcast right
The
now?
timeline is
Son of a
This is
Dungeon
being-
What day
dropped
is
2
it?
days ago.
this is being
Niko-
recorded 48 hours before the release.
Okay.
And
But
it's
it's
being
coming out
released
after.
48 hours after.
Yep. That's just how it
Mhm.
goes. But I mean, spoilers
Spoilers.
are okay to say
Yep.
because we're not spoiling anything anymore.
Nico dies.
Nico died.
I do actually die.
Nico.
Wait, we shouldn't spoil things. I'm sure not everyone's watched Son of a Dungeon within 2 days. of going
well,
live.
we just spoiled
Bleep
it.
me
so
out.
Now,
Well, do
Well,
I
you
actually
saw-
die, or am I just pulling your leg?
yeah. So, somehow
Was that
he's
a
still
joke? Was that
alive.
Or should we
sarcasm? Or
bleep
is that
out
real?
Nico?
We're just scrambling to cover our tracks. But yeah, it's tough. It's hard doing a podcast right now because I'm getting like whiplash,
Yeah, everything's
like-
going
Yeah.
on.
like trying to actually export
Yeah.
stuff.
Episode 1 and 2 are exporting right now.
That's great news.
Yeah.
Sweet.
And then I'm going to send it over to Jake for closed captions.
Yeah, it's so hard.
Okay.
It's so hard, guys. It's so much content. It's like the crazy thing about this dang show is that it's like how I want to find what's the hour like multiplier.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
For every hour we played D&D, how many freaking hours
We
have been
work on
put
it.
into it since then? Like,
Yeah.
it's just so crazy. Because we started this whole thing off going, you know what, guys? We want to make a low impact show. So let's play D&D.
Let's
However,
call,
we end
let's
up
call Carmichael.
we end up still with like a full like TV season's length of footage that then we just can't help but go, well, let's treat it all like it's like the highest quality stuff and everything has to be amazing. So let's do all these renders and sound design. And so like you're still applying it to that many minutes of footage. It
Yeah.
just happens to be that the footage itself is just a guy sitting around a table instead of like doing flips, driving cars,
Shooting
acting,
guns.
shooting guns. Like it's just
Right.
They're just sitting there rolling dice.
we're sitting there rolling dice, and then
And
we're like, all
pretending.
right, we have to sound
So the-
design the
the-
crap out of it.
The photography is a lot for people who don't know what you're saying. Like basically what that means is the photography is way easier on set on the day. It's less days
Yeah.
to capture that many minutes. And we thought that would be an advantage. But what ended up happening is even though the photography was easier, the entirety of post-production has been just as much work as any other show that is 9 hours long.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So
And then
that
splitting that up
so that
between
happened.
6 people basically.
Yeah. Thank God.
yeah.
Anyways,
Remember when it was just
it's cool.
us?
What?
Remember when it was just us? Season 1?
Yeah. Since then, we have 4 more people that have been helping, basically,
yeah.
which does help.
Oh
But-
my gosh.
But it's the constant thing of like you get it's what everyone's talking about. We recently had Tim Miller for VFX Artists React.
Yeah, Tim Miller was
And,
in this morning. For Visual Effects
Jerome
Artists React.
Dijon, I think was his
Jerome Darjeon.
Donjon. but they're from Blur
Mhm.
Studios, and like you know, we can relate, which is you talk about rendering time, you talk about rendering speed, like, oh, this is slow render, and then when you get your new GPU or your new CPU, and you're like, sweet, my renders will take less time, and then you just make them crazier,
Yeah.
and then they take just as long, and so that's the kind of the effect. It's like, great, we have more editors,
Yep.
great, we've got more VFX help now, and we have a team, and then we're like, cool, so that
Let's
means
do
we can
more.
do more shots, so we just do more shots.
Well, I feel like
Now we have more shots.
I feel like
It
we
takes just
learned
as long.
our,
But the,
our,
but the
thing.
product is better. The
It-
product
The
is
product
better.
is
It's
so
better. It's
way
so
better.
much better. It's so one more. So much better.
I do think we learned where our cap was on the green screen photography, though, because in season 1 we're like, okay, we got to bring all these shots down to like 20 a day,
Mhm.
and we barely got by. But we're like, okay, 20. You know, we were pretty consistent. We got out in a good time every day. This season, we're like, we're going to aim for 30,
Well, like,
and then we struggled. We genuinely struggled to get 30 a day.
well, our setups evolved too this year, but the green screen shots, they're the chocolate fudge on your sundae, right? Like, that's the whole reason you're
I mean,
eating
that's
the
the-
ice cream.
It's also the number, yeah, but it's also the number one thing about Son of a Dungeon compared to any of the other D&D shows out there.
Right. 100%.
It is the green screen photography and the Unreal
engine.
all
Yeah.
combined into one.
Yeah, I mean, there's a million things to talk about. Like, obviously, like just the Unreal Engine renders that aren't green screen, like, have a whole new life in
Oh,
this
God,
season
yeah.
versus last season. But the green screen itself, you know, it's like you get the actors together, you have the costumes, you do the shoot on the green screen. But having done that, what did you guys learn from this year? What did you get to do this year that you couldn't do from season 1? Like,
Handheld.
what was the
Yeah.
handheld
Handheld
camera? I guess
solid.
actual tracked camera.
Actual
Actually tracked
versus
camera.
like
Suggestive, it's like suggestion of a track.
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
did a lot less Scooby-Doo shots. And
Yeah.
what that is we would have everyone pretend they're walking, and then we would just move the background. We did that quite a bit in season 1. It looks funny, but it also kind of works. But then
it did its
in
job.
this season we did like 1, and then I don't even think we tossed it into the edit.
Yeah, I mean,
I
well,
don't remember. Yeah.
we have a real green screen for this year's Son
Yeah.
of a Dungeon. The first
Yeah.
Son of a Dungeon was shot on a cloth green screen or paper green screen.
Paper green screen.
green screen.
Paper.
Here's my season 3 pitch. I'm already doing it.
Uh-oh.
Let's still do 8 episodes.
Yeah.
Let's make them 30 minutes long. Okay. We will be far less. I think because like I'm starting to see it with this season. Like the editing style is like even more distilled to the point where like dice rolls and like the rules and stuff are like they're not like speed bumps like they were in the first season right now. They're
Yeah.
just a little bit of, you know, they go by and it's perfect. It's like super smooth narrative editing.
I love how you guys are doing dice rolls in this season. I've always hated dice rolls in D&D games. I love what they imply. I love when they happen because it's like
Right, they're
you're at a story branch.
Yeah,
you know? And
exactly.
something's going to happen that no one can control, meaning like the story is not being contrived. It's going to play out naturally and people
Yeah.
have to react to it, which is fun. That's what I like about it. But in every other D&D show, like I just don't really like how they've done the dice rolls, but in the way you guys approached it, I really like that.
well, normally the audience is left out. Like the closest people that I've ever seen get like do something what we do is College Humor, is where they have like a little dice cam box, so
Mhm.
that way the audience can be in on the excitement for the roll, which is the whole point of it.
Right. It's a
Um,
slot machine.
It's a slot machine. So yeah, we made a slot machine.
Yeah, it helps a lot. It helps a lot.
I
But,
mean, I remember reviewing the first 5 minutes of episode 1, and I was like, okay, sound, music, VFX is all in it. Okay, let's see this. And then Christian's watching over my shoulder, and the first thing he goes, "We got dice rolls."
yeah, no, it's nice. It's super nice. Yeah, like I think that element is like it's really good. Like right now, it's like so distilled though, story wise. Like we have that special sequence in the 4th episode where we are sticking to like we have.
Yes.
I'm glad we did that because watching it, like I even had them. They re-rendered it like again
Yes.
just now
Yeah.
because like I noticed like the
Today.
sync was off, but we managed to like do 7 to 8 minutes or so of just like basically all on the green screen.
It was such a
Ooh.
commitment on the day on the green screen. We're like, do we just roll for the next 10 minutes straight?
It's
But I
so
think it wasn't hard for any of the actors.
No,
it
in
was
fact-
so easy.
And we
in,
lo-
fact,
and we
in fact, I think I would
locked it
argue
off.
it was the most effective use of this whole system so far, because it was the first time where we're like, cool, we're not like doing complex blocking or takes or anything. We're like
Right.
literally just syncing it's
we're just shooting. Yeah.
to the game
So
table.
for people who don't know what Sam's talking about right now, we did a shot where there are multiple characters talking as they are speaking in the edit, but
Yeah.
they're
It's the
in
drunk
game.
history.
It's drunk
Drunk-
history.
drunk
We
Yeah, it's
finally did the
drunk
drunk
history.
history. Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
was
So they're-
the
yeah.
original conceptualization of the show. At least I thought so. That's how I was pitching it to myself anyway. And so it was really fun to be able to do that in this season, which it happens in episode 4.
Yeah, I think the reality of actually doing the drunk history thing is not nearly as compelling or effective as one would think.
Yeah.
If we were to do it for everything, it'd be really like
Yeah.
you
But
know?
utilizing it in season 3 as another camera angle and adding it to
Yeah.
now the animated minis, which we have now, the regular green screen shots, the table shots, the top down shots,
Mhm.
using it like that might be interesting.
Yeah. I like the use of it for dialogue scenes that need to be there. And it's going to be, hey, you guys are sitting there talking for 10 minutes. It's important.
Yeah,
And I remember the first time it went onto the edit.
we were like all in character for most of that chunk. Like, because that's the other
Yeah.
thing is like most of the time we're playing, it's like we're all over the place. You know,
Right. You guys were actually in it and you guys were having a conversation.
Well, there's like so much action, you know what I'm saying? It's,
Yeah.
it's hard because it's like
So
we'll go there and say a few things, but like we're gonna leave this room in a few minutes because we're like looking for something or we're trying to accomplish something, and so it's hard to slot that in most places.
right. And I like the fact that we dedicated a nice big chunk of VFX to dialogue
Mhm.
role play.
Yeah,
And
Fun.
what was fun was when it was first put in, it was just a blanket over the whole bit. And it was also the beginning of the episode. And I just found myself so jarred that I was like, who's talking right now? And then I started chopping it up. And it's not really spoilers. I'm chopping it up. And I found it really compelling match cutting between who's speaking at the table to them speaking as character on the green screen.
Mm.
Mhm.
Just like a few times, just to like, this is what we're doing. And then we stay in it.
Cool.
It was really satisfying.
That's cool. I can't wait to see it.
It's sweet.
So season 3.
30
You
minutes.
Let's stay on
think we
season
can-
two for
you
now.
think, Sam, you think we can make the same? We can do the same
I-
amount of table play and cut that down
Nope.
to 30 minutes.
So this is where I would
You're crazy, man.
I think if you want shorter episodes, that's shorter. The work goes at the table. That's shorter gameplays. And I don't think that's the best move. We could definitely shorten the gameplays rather than 2.5 hours. We clock it at 2, no more than that. But I do think half the amount of episodes, like we can play for 8 episodes. Got it. No problem. But then we focus on like half season releases. So we're not spending 12 months on 8 episodes. We're spending 6 months on 4, done. Then 6 months on 4. That's my thinking for season 3.
Yeah. Well, we'll get there.
We'll get there.
We'll figure it out.
We'll get there.
I don't know if there's any advantage to that or not. It's hard to tell.
What are
Um,
some of the other things that you guys have like really felt the leap in from season 1 to season 2?
Fenner. CC
better.
Fenner.
CC Fenner,
Yeah.
the Rockcliffe effect.
Yeah. yeah, we felt
And not
that.
just the Rockcliffe effect. You got a little bit of the like the Allen special like floating around the corners.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Jordan Allen special is always welcome.
Griffin's
Yeah.
art,
Yep.
his character art, and then using his character art more often. So like if you guys are in a dialogue scene with
Yeah.
a few NPCs,
That's
I'm like
that
tossing
helps.
them up more.
Yep.
So that way we know who's talking.
I know.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Griffin.
Griffin and his art.
Obviously,
Mhm.
next year we'll be replacing him with the AI. Obviously.
Yeah, we'll just I will train the AI on Griffin's art.
Wow.
Yeah.
We will
Yeah,
have embedded Griffin into our infrastructure. He'll become his eventually his nerves will mesh with the Ethernet cables
Well, it'll give him more time for thumbnails. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
He'll be in a big like Red Bull like tube,
That's
like,
actually-
Luke Skywalker style in Empire Strikes Back, and he's like got all the wires like going into him.
That's actually an
That's
interesting
it.
idea.
That's it.
When can the AI, here it is.
Oh.
When can the AI
Hold on. Keep it
Oh
quick.
no.
be
Oh,
trained
no.
on doing thumbnails in a specific style? So VFX artists React thumbnails are done by an AI.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
YouTube
'cause
thumbnail in the style of Griffin Thorne.
it doesn't matter because at the end of the day, a good thumbnail needs the time put into the concept
Yeah.
and the story and the idea, and the actual video itself has to mesh with that as well. So it's like there's definitely craft and skill and artistry in making it eye catching, but the best that's only a fraction of the total job.
Yeah.
And an AI can't do the total job.
You heard
So,
it here, Griffin. Your job is safe.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I don't think.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
I
We don't need to get into the AI's effects on the
Anyways,
industry in this podcast.
but
Maybe
anyways,
next one.
okay. So basically,
Wait until you guys find out about the next thing that happened in the past 2 weeks in AI.
Oh,
okay,
no.
anyways, stop it.
Oh no.
So yeah, I really want to play D&D. We should do like a one-shot game for fun this winter.
Yeah.
Another
Yeah.
Christmas
Yeah.
themed game.
I would
That's a
love
good call.
Christmas themed games are wonderful.
Yeah, just a
Ricky
just play
Ray
it for a
keeps
day.
asking too. If we want to, we want to really bring in the X factor.
The X Factor
No.
for sure.
No, no,
No.
I don't know. He's
Yeah.
too
Been
he's too
asking.
crazy. I'll get him fired if I describe what he did in those games. I remember, didn't he specifically say, "Hey, I work for Bill Gates now. You can't tell anyone. You can't tell anyone what he did."
I don't think you said any of that.
No, I remember he mentioned like, "Please don't talk about it publicly."
You can't talk publicly about what I did in those D&D games.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been another journey. I didn't think that this season was going to take us a year.
9
But
episodes.
somehow here we are in September once again,
Yeah,
about to
I mean-
drop another season.
Yeah. I
Technically,
suppose.
that's not a year, but
I mean, we did technically start shooting it in what, February?
Feb-
January? Something like that?
February. So
Yeah.
it's
We
an
filmed it in
improved-
February. Yep.
Yep.
yeah, it took a
So
while.
Some solid R&D happened
But-
between season 1 and
But
season 2.
yeah, the brainstorming of the season before filming started like at Christmas.
I
Well,
think
yeah, that's what I'm saying. You kind of got to take that into account. Like you have to take into account the release,
pre-production.
the come
Pre-production
down
and writing, so to speak.
Yeah.
of the
Writing script.
brain, you know, and like the resetting, then the gearing up, the brainstorming. All of that is part of the process, I think.
Yeah,
I don't- I
all
mean-
the after hour texts.
Yeah.
Because if you tried to slam the 5 months between season 1 and when we filmed season 2 into less time than that, I don't know. It wouldn't have come out the way that it did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so here's the big challenge. The challenge is making it into a show. Like that's the pressure, which is like when I playing a D&D game for fun is there's pressure because you know
Yeah.
there's pressure to like entertain
Yep.
and to like make
Host
sure that
and-
like
yeah.
things feel cohesive so that way your people playing the game don't have like you don't want to make it feel random or like
Yeah.
you don't like the effect the single player D&D thing
Mm-hmm.
where it's just like, dude, you're just making bullshit, you know what I mean? Like you're just saying the opposite of whatever I want to do, you know, like because that effect, that's the worst. But like when it's a show where you're like, oh shoot, like this needs to be a cool story that has like
Makes sense.
those moments and has like some level of like emotion or drama of, you know, what a series or narrative is supposed to have. That's like this difficult part to do. And I mean, I think we did it a little bit better, but it's like it's still one of those things where I watch it now and I'm like, shit, it would have been so much cooler to do this or like this or that. But it's just like even in the moment, there's like no control over
Yeah, but that just means you're becoming a better
some of that stuff.
artist.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just means you're improving.
But there's definitely, I think, more of that. Like we had a couple of those beats in the first season, but like this one is like a little bit more consistent with twists and turns and like emotional like drama
Yeah.
Yeah.
stuff. And
You know,
like
after this podcast, or it's not that podcast, after the season finishes of Son of a Dungeon 2, we should talk about the power outage branch that could have been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can't talk about it any more than that
Yep.
now. That's all we're gonna say. But let's just say there was
Yeah.
a power outage, and we went down a branch in the story that was amazing, and it is just for us. It was just for us around the table.
Yep.
Because the power outage happened, and that was all that's left is our memories.
Yep.
That makes me very, very sad.
But
think
truly, if it was just a D&D game and it wasn't being recorded, it still would have been just
That would
as
have kept
great.
going.
It was just for us, you know?
Yeah.
Like I said, it's
That's
just
why
for
we
us.
need those battery walls, though.
I got 3 batteries on every camera now.
Yep.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
Yep.
'Cause- Yeah. So
That was the
I don't
most
know.
stressful thing in the world.
Yeah.
yeah, we were right in the middle. It was day.
Yes.
It was day
It was-
6 or
Oh my
7.
God.
It was day. It was episode. I'm not gonna say what
Okay.
I'm not even gonna say what day.
Yeah.
After
it was
after,
late. It was
after,
late in filming.
After when the season's
After.
done.
No.
and the
season's
power.
It's too easy
and
to
I'm
count.
just talking about what happened. I'm not talking about the
Okay,
game.
okay.
And the power goes out. It's everything just. And we have like servers on. We've got fans on. There's cameras on. There's fans everywhere, just going.
Yeah.
And then just silence, and you can immediately feel the heat of the air conditioners go out, and we know already before we even checked that we lost all the footage.
And then you hear the back door slide open. And you just hear me running out.
Yeah.
Turn the cameras off or whatever. What were you saying to do?
I don't
Pull the
remember. I was
cards out?
so scared.
Yeah.
So we lost some footage, but whatever. You know,
We lost some
we're
footage.
professionals.
Yeah, we didn't
professionals.
lose 3 hours of footage.
It's
Oh.
not like the series is scripted by any means. And
Yeah.
one
Right.
scene had to be redone.
Yeah.
But yeah, very stressful.
Yeah. So
I will say
Here's the thing. Look, we got to stop talking about it, but I'm just going to say this one thing.
Oh, okay.
I
What's
want
your
to
talking
get my
about it?
last word.
was you done talking about? I
Like-
want to talk about it a little bit too.
What was lost wasn't just a scene. It was something
wasn't.
special.
It was something
It
amazing.
was something very special, but it is very much replaced by something else that's also very special.
Yeah.
But still,
there's the,
we'll leave it at that.
the morale in our hearts to continue going
Yeah.
forward.
Oh God, that's so funny thinking about that.
Yeah.
I don't even. I
I
want to
know-
keep talking about it. We'll talk about it. We'll revisit this topic.
I have about a
Because
80%
the-
accuracy of knowing how that day would have ended.
oh my
Yeah.
God.
Man.
Oh man, it's so funny.
I know. Yeah.
Okay, this is enough.
I can't talk
We're
about
all just quietly chuckling to ourselves, like,
all right.
boy.
So,
But we can't
season
talk about it
3.
till.
So season 3.
Yeah.
Are we
No,
gonna?
season 3? Let's talk about season
Is it
2.
Is it gonna
Yeah.
take one more season to finish this campaign though?
Yes,
Yes.
and it's awesome.
It's really amazing.
Like all the fun things that were in the first 2 seasons. Like so, the second season. I personally think the second season is like probably about 20 times better than the first season.
Yeah.
Mostly
Across the board.
for forgetting like all the
Mathematically.
but forgetting like the VFX and crap, like it's more entertaining to watch. Like
Yeah.
it's a better story. Everyone's really on their game, and like everyone's being really creative. So it's that much better. But yeah, it definitely is a thing where when you finish the second season, there's just like this like, oh man, like dude, just we're totally not done. Like there's
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
one last block that completes basically everything.
Yeah.
And all the characters can die at the end of the third season, and it would be fine.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
We're also starting to approach that power level, right? It's like
You
season-
passed that.
we're just kind of
Well,
kind of
It's-
at the end
well,
of this season.
I can set
I
that
was-
up,
Yeah.
which is like basically we're doing like leveling up one level
Mhm.
per like play
Day.
session, which is definitely like speed leveling.
Yes.
So in that first season, everyone was starting around like level 4 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so this season, people start around like level 8 or 9.
Mhm.
And so by the end of the season, if you do the math, people are pretty powered up,
Yeah.
And most games end
and-
at level 10.
Yeah. So like if we do that third season, we have this really unique situation too, where it's like,
We're almost demigods.
yeah,
Not
it's like,
quite, but By the
get
end
to
of the
do what
season-
only you get to do what only 1% of D&D players ever get to do.
Yeah, by the end of season 3, we will be commanding the forces of nature. Well, we're already commanding the forces of nature. I
Yeah,
don't
but
know.
you were commanding the force of nature in the first episode too.
Yeah.
But I'm just, but like, but the thing is that like the special thing about like this story right now is that like it's a like long running D&D campaigns, in my opinion, they're I mean, just like any other show or narrative you're watching, like there's this huge amount of like weight to them where
Yeah.
like, okay, we've been in these different situations, there's all these characters, all these events and experiences, like there's a lot of stuff there, and to capitalize it on it for like the idea of like creating a conclusion
Mhm.
is like has meaning now. You know, it's
Yeah.
not like the one shot like, hey, we're all gonna like, this is just like, hey, a fun little game, we're goofing around, but now it's like, okay, everyone kind of feels like, okay, we got a little bit of stakes here for these characters, or
Yeah.
like
You've
you know,
committed time.
or there's these ideas of things that you guys want to accomplish
yeah.
in this story, so to speak. And so that's why it's like so juicy, and we're finally like the second season is where we start that stuff, where it like starts to happen. And yeah, so I was thinking about it this morning. I was like, I gotta start writing this stuff, or like
I mean, we
writing
got
the script for all the
I
lines.
mean, we got a
that
bunch
you're
of
gonna
notes.
say. Yeah.
Yeah, because we have to plan all our numbers for like the dice rolls and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
we have
yeah,
we have
plan
like
all
one
that out.
die that
How ma-
each dice rolls a specific number.
how
so
many
that you have
20s?
to
How many
remember
nat
which one.
20s do we actually want in season 3?
Yeah, this is like the WWE version of Dungeons and
D&D.
Dragons.
Dude, the WWE version of D&D. I mean, it's not that far off, actually.
it's not.
Now I start to think about it. One's just a little more improv theater than the other, but yeah.
They have a good cross section.
Well,
There's a
but
lot
they
of wacky
decide what the roles are in
That's
WWE.
true.
Yeah, I mean that's
That's
more like
the
That's
main
the,
Curb
which
Your
is the whole point of
Enthusiasm,
us having
where
die
it's
is
like
to not.
that's the D&D where you sit down and say, all right, everyone, here's what we're trying to get out of this scene.
Yeah.
Like I'll let you guys handle that, but you know we're all working towards the same thing, right? You know.
Right.
So yeah, there's a scene
Yeah.
where Nico's gonna die here at the end, and we really want to make it seem like no one saw it coming.
Yeah.
Okay.
You guys all ready for that moment? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Like, you guys will make it dramatic, though, right? Not too sad? Like, you know,
Yeah.
somebody's got a one-liner or two? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
You got a good one-liner? Okay, all right.
I mean, you could totally do that.
You're gonna
I mean,
waterboard,
let's be
right?
real. A
Yeah,
lot of
good.
D&D shows probably do that.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
that's not what we're
That's not
doing.
what
at
we
all.
do.
Yeah, we don't-
yeah,
we-
we're
this show is
joking.
like-
We're
I,
joking.
I
We're
should
joking.
also go further that the ending credit scene of episode 1 is this joke.
Yes. That's going to confuse some people, but...
Yeah, no.
Yeah. No, it's 100% raw actual D&D. I mean, people have seen our Node videos. It's
like
that.
it's legit. It's
Yeah.
pretty legit. But that's why it's so cool. Like it's my favorite medium personally, because
Same.
you know, it's fun, you know, I love, you know, coming up and brainstorming. It's the same process with videos where, like, for me, the brainstorming part is awesome because you're there. All right, we're collaborating, figuring things out. It's like super exciting. And then when it comes to write it, you're just like, you force yourself to sit down and type each letter, and you're like, oh, it's so painful to like actually like commit things
Yep.
Yeah.
to like text. But
Yeah.
you know, that D&D is 100% that brainstorming process. You're like
Yeah.
literally brainstorming every second you're playing it.
Well,
Yeah.
So
I had
it's
this
super
thought
cool.
yesterday, was just like, one of the reasons I really love D&D as a medium is like, it's the same reason why you love filmmaking. It's a collaborative process that you have an intended output, but because everyone is contributing their own creativity, something slightly new and different is going to pop out.
Mhm.
And that's kind of the beauty of filmmaking. It's like,
Yeah. Well, it's
And-
also,
and-
imagine this. Imagine you're in a brainstorming session
yeah,
and people are like saying, what's the best thing for this guy to do in this situation? And everyone's got a different idea.
yeah,
But the thing is that not everything's going to stick, because ultimately you're trying to settle on like the best version of something.
right.
Whereas in D&D, it's like, okay,
It could be the worst.
if you're imagine a brainstorming session where each time someone says an idea,
They have to roll
it
up.
like it locks into place, and you're like, oh shit, like you just said that you wanted to like do this flip over there, but then this thing blows up or whatever, and you're like, oh dude, god dang it, like
yeah.
It's like,
Like-
now we have to do this with the story. All right.
I
like,
always
yeah.
wonder if, Batman versus Superman movie, if they actually brought the actors in to play Batman versus Superman D&D for a Sunday, and that's how they would get the draft.
Oh,
And I
that's
was
really
like,
funny.
that would be probably the greatest Batman versus Superman movie.
That's really funny.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really great way of like, because that's the funny thing though, is that with that process though, it still gives you that really dynamic story that you want to see.
It's great.
Yeah, it's
It's
cool.
almost like you're reacting the whole time rather than
Yes.
a more like affirmative action taking process.
Agreed.
Yeah, I've never thought about it like that, but that's totally true.
Some of
My favorite thing in D&D is also in the second season. It's like it was like the first time where like I feel like everyone started like kind of like, well, there's this constant element of distrust, you
Yeah.
know, or it's like,
What, in
okay,
the first season?
well,
Or in all the
both.
seasons?
it's like
Especially in the first season.
Dude,
Especially
I'm
the
sitting
first
back
episode.
here watching you guys just distrust Sam's like, guys, we have 8 more days of shooting. Like, just keep going.
I know the first episode of the first season is like there's a cave and everyone's like, I don't know. Should we go in there? And it's like, I don't know. It's like, guys, come on. Like, just go in there. Trust. I'm not gonna kill you that quick.
We should do a campaign where where you try to kill us in the first episode, though, just to see what happens.
What it could be season 3. I mean, we'll find
Who
out.
knows?
Oh my god, that's so funny.
Yeah, I mean, but that's the thing with this
man.
one. I felt that was like everyone was much more comfortable just
Yeah.
like just doing something and not like going, oh god, am I gonna die around that corner every single second? You know?
Every corner.
Yeah.
I mean, like
What
that.
do you-
That's why it's much. That's why it flows better, is because there's
Yeah.
way less. There's way less like speculation about stuff like that. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? It's like cool. Like there's a room. Like, hey, let's go there. All right, I'm opening the door. We're going in. Like we're doing
Yeah.
it, and it's like it like flows because of that. Yeah.
What do you normally do to these guys? Unlike D&D games that they don't trust you on the first door of the first
I don't know.
minute.
No, that's part of the fun. It's like if the dungeon master is not your adversary, then like
Well,
yeah,
I play
where's the intrigue?
Yeah.
as the DM. I
Right.
play both sides, right?
Well, of course. I mean,
But
if the dungeon master's your friend, they're gonna make sure you have a good time.
right.
You know,
Your
not
friend
saying-
in real life.
yeah, in real
like,
life.
I found this out over the other
Competitive
weekend. I was-
D&D.
They're just trying to make your. They're
It's
just
like,
trying to
you
make
have
your
to use,
game
like the challenge rating
miserable.
monsters.
Isn't that a thing? Isn't that like the Pathfinder Society? Effectively that.
Competitive D&D.
Where it's like
Yeah.
the Pathfinder Society is this thing where it's, I think you have to be like, I don't know if you need like a certificate to become a DM or something like that,
Yes.
but it's like, it's very, very like, well, it's very strict. You know, there's not like the idea is that there's like zero like rule wiggle room, so to speak, and you can
Right.
go to these games that are like,
there's
yeah.
no home brewery. There's no ruling. It's just rules.
Mhm.
Yeah, and
Uh,
I mean, I feel like that's kind of interesting. So that way, like anyone can just hop in and like be a part of a story. But at the same time, it's like I wonder. I don't know.
Have you ever been to a convention and played D&D at a convention?
No.
Never.
Okay, so there's an interview with a DM from one of those conventions. Each game is 60 minutes long.
That's great.
Whoa.
His
Whoa.
his job is to get your attention, get through the story and stuff. If you, as the group who've paid to sit at this table to play D&D,
Whoa, you pay?
you pay.
You pay?
That's crazy. Here, I'll be
Hello,
right.
I'm just a traveling
New
dungeon
competitive
master.
Dungeons and Dragons
And-
tournament announced.
If you go to the DM and go, hey man, we're just gonna play, we're gonna have some laughs, you're probably just gonna get about a quarter way through. But
Yeah.
he'll chill off and be a little bit more relaxed. But he was talking about how I have to get through this entire module in 60 minutes.
Hmm.
It doesn't matter how you join the campaign. He's like talking about all these different shortcuts and thinking processes. I watched that interview not just because I'm obsessed with D&D, but as a DM on the weekends, a friend of mine has MS and she only has 4 hours a day to play D&D.
Mm.
Otherwise, her brain just starts taking her down for the rest of the day. So time management in my mind when I play D&D is super important.
Wait, are you saying she only has 4 hours a day to like be active and alert, or she only has
Yes.
4 hours a day to play D&D?
No, to be active and alert. And
Okay,
even,
because 4
and even
hours
during
a day
that,
to play D&D is quite a long time if you
Yeah.
add up every day.
yeah.
Okay,
But
got
she
it.
but
Got it.
even those 4 hours, she has a migraine every Sunday.
Right.
So
Ugh.
like, I have to like, I actively try to make sure it's under 4 hours to
Yeah.
get to either the hook and that's the end.
All right, so I'm reading a bit up on competitive D&D, and
Yeah, you do that.
Here's a couple tidbits. Apparently, there's a few things. There's a D&D Sports, a new online D&D tournament. A tournament is billed as a way for competitive games to get comfortable with trying Dungeons and Dragons, as well as a unique way to depict the versatility of D&D's 5th edition combat system. The games are relatively simple. So this is just one version of competitive D&D.
I gotta say, saying Dungeons and Dragons is a sport is like saying gambling is a sport.
I'm a professional sports athlete. What sport do you play? D&D.
I'm a gambling athlete.
All right, 2 teams of 4 characters will be placed in a dungeon and will battle to the death. Players will choose from a collection of 15 pre-generated characters, each with their own unique abilities and traits. Oh, wow. So you can't pick your own character. You just have to pick.
Okay, so that makes sense, but here's a big question. What level are they? Do they know? Because that's a lot of stuff you got to memorize
it's pre-generated,
quick.
So, I mean,
So
I
it's
imagine
like,
that they
here's
pick
a
the
level
for
11
you.
fighter. Hope you know all the ways to use that.
This is just one version of competitive D&D, though. Let's see.
Yeah, we're talking about competitive D&D.
Competitive PvP D&D.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God.
DDTT RPG.
I have to
D&D.
admit though, out of all the D&D shows that I watch, the most boring part of it is combat.
I agree.
Really?
I have to watch combat
Yeah.
at almost 2 times speed just to enjoy myself.
Combat in D&D moves slow anyways.
It does. It
Not
moves
our
slower.
combat.
Our combat moves slow also.
It
Like,
does.
Think of how fast the game literally takes. They say it right there in front of you.
6
It's 6 seconds of game time for your turn in real life. So you
Right.
literally slow the world down to a second for every minute that you're
It's
like
bullet
talking
time.
and working, you know?
Yeah.
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 And also everyone just starts. There's a few outliers of players out there that do a really good job at bringing role play and just flourishing the narration of how they do something cool.
Mm-hmm.
But that's an outlier. Most of the time, players, DM, they're like, math. Yeah, you get to, hit. Yep, it hits you. Okay, cool. And it's just like, it becomes less interesting.
Yeah. Yes, it hit you. I try to hit him, and you hit him.
Guys, I want to go inside the world and do a documentary following around a professional competitive D&D player around the globe. As
Like
they,
my wizard's more powerful than yours.
yes,
wizard's more
as they
powerful than
battle.
yours.
Think about that.
Gosh, that's funny.
I wonder if there's a dark, gritty version of that world that we don't know about.
They must have like weight classes or like
Wait,
level 10s, you know?
Right.
Yo, you
Versus
Yeah.
level,
level 8s.
you're level 10?
Yeah, but it's like, hold on.
that's
But hold
Phillips
on. What if the
Phillips
guy
has been
went
trying to
on
move
like
up to
a
level
really
10
great
for
adventure
years.
and got like some rare treasure, and then the other guy didn't, and they're both level 10?
But that's actually a thing from past D&D is like, oh, my DM gave me this giant frost sword from the giant keep.
Yeah,
And
no,
then-
it's impossible to do
and then you're
competitive
like,
D&D.
Oh, okay, I guess that's okay.
No, they have to be items that were in the books and stuff. So it's
That's
like,
how 5e now works.
I know,
is
but
like
what
they
if I'm
have to
just like,
match.
guys, I'm rigging the match. So level 1, you find this chest that has 20 like wondrous rare items in it. Don't tell anyone I gave it to you.
Keep this in your pocket. They only unlock if you happen to play competitively.
Don't
with another
lose your
dungeon
character
master.
sheet, kid.
I'm giving
Yeah.
you a Lehman's secret chest with items in it that can only be unlocked during a competitive tournament.
And then there's this one player that you really don't like. You just give him a mimic.
It's like I have it too. Yeah, it's like no, I have that sword.
I have this sword.
I see it says it says right here on my character sheet.
Yeah,
have
I wrote
sword.
that down like 3 months ago.
Yeah, I wrote that down at least 3 months ago. Way before
Yeah,
I
I
knew this
like
tournament was
how
happening.
someone finally caught in the comments that it takes 1 minute to cast Lehman's Tiny Hut.
Oh yeah.
Except in our game.
Doesn't it? It's one. Is it 1 minute? No, it's 10 minutes. It costs 10 minutes.
Is
to
it
cast.
okay? Yeah, it's a time. It's a substantial.
It's
period
not,
of
it's not a
time.
battle spell, but
Yeah.
too late.
It was funny.
It is not a world.
That's almost like 200 rounds of combat.
Yeah.
Well, we bring that up in the second. It's the second
Yeah,
season.
yeah.
It becomes
we
a
acknowledge
specific
that.
role-playing storyline element. That's for
Yeah.
sure.
That's
It's
true,
so
it does.
funny. It's like instantly top of the episode. Okay, we're gonna fight. Force field.
Impenetrable 8-hour-long force field. It's like, God damn.
Hey, you got around it though. You got around
true.
it.
Yeah.
There was a moment where it's like, oh, we're all screwed. We're gonna die.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you did.
And then I died.
Yeah. Later
Yeah.
in the episode. Yeah.
Or did I? Or were we just being sarcastic? So I've mentioned this story. I'm not sure if I mentioned it on a podcast. I
If
think
you're
it's told in
watching
real
this,
life.
go ahead.
The story about being told spoilers, right? This isn't spoilers here. It's like it's about spoilers.
Oh, sure.
I think if you want your friend to really enjoy a piece of media, accidentally quote unquote spoil it, telling them that one of the main characters die.
Yeah.
And so like anytime that you get to oh, they're hanging off the car, oh, the bomb's counting down, like it's like the person will be like, wait, are they actually gonna die? And it'll make the experience so much more intense for your
Yeah, because
friend.
you're looking for it.
You're looking for it. Yep.
Yeah.
But what if they don't and then they watch the whole thing and they're like, what the hell, man?
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what happened.
It makes
with,
the viewing experience great, but then it makes the end suck.
you just be like, I don't know. I
little
didn't say they died. What are
That's
you
like
talking about?
watching Mulholland Drive over and over again, looking for a conclusion that never happens.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, maybe you could do that. Or maybe not. Don't do that too. I mean,
I
up
still
to
to
you.
this day despise that movie. And I know that it's
a David Lynch
Well,
movie.
dude, my buddy wanted to watch it in high school. You remember Raleigh Shetka?
Yeah, of course.
Do you remember that guy? Yeah,
Yeah.
he was kind of
Not
a
at all.
quirky dude.
Rawls.
And he was like, yo, we're all going to get together and we're going to watch Mulholland Drive. It's the best movie ever. And I was like, so stoked. I was like, okay, cool. Raleigh's got this movie. We went and rented it because that's when you did that sort of thing.
Ooh,
We brought
who
it back.
rented it?
We rented it from like Blockbuster or wherever.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
who went to Blockbuster to
but-
get it?
But it's probably just because he was in high school and there's nudity in it.
Yeah, but I was waiting for like a conclusion. I was waiting for a plot the entire time. And it was like, okay, what? There's no plot. I don't know how they did it.
I think
Yeah.
that's one of his worst movies.
They did 90 minutes,
One.
not a single plot.
There's that's the movie with the witch on the scooter, right? Or the witch
Yeah,
on
there's
the
like a
dolly
bunch
cart.
of weird stuff that
It's
happens.
Were they-
probably is it just a vibe movie, or just you vibe for like?
Yeah,
an
it's like
hour?
a vibe
it's,
movie.
Yeah, it
It's
really
a
is.
vibe movie, yeah.
Well, there you have it.
So anyway, that's my gripe. I'm still 20 years later. I'm still griping about.
Season
Wasn't
3,
vibing with
Warren
it.
Watts gets stuck in Mulholland Drive.
No conclusion.
Season 3 of Son of a Dungeon will just be us vibing in like a tavern.
Just vibing.
So don't do that.
Episode 1 is just in the tavern.
There's just
nothing
it's
else.
just mini games, just tavern games.
Gambling.
It's
Just like poker and-
gambling.
yeah.
games.
No, Warren Watt is playing as a dungeon
We're
master,
playing dice.
playing
In-
Dungeons and
in the
Dragons with
game.
everyone else at the table, and you're
So
playing
roll
an
a
NPC.
dice to see what number your dice gets.
Yeah.
The DM is playing an NPC who's actually a player.
Dude, I mean, I still think the Renaissance Fair one-shot game would be fucking great. Where
Is-
it's just people go to the Renaissance Fair. Obviously, it's like the heightened version where there's drama and maybe there's like a murder mystery happening, but it's
Right.
like it's just the Renaissance Fair.
Wait, can we do that? Can we go to the Ren Fair with dice? And then one of us is a dungeon master, and it makes you roll to do different things that you want to do at the Ren Fair, and it's like you go axe throwing, and you don't actually hit the axes. You just
You roll
you're like,
dice.
I want to drink 8 meads, and you're like, okay, you're gonna have to roll for that.
Sure, I mean maybe.
And all the patrons there are just like super confused.
We need
Like you walk up to the counter,
they
you're
all
actually
have to
rolling
play
dice.
along.
That would
Everybody
be
at the
so
Renaissance Fair would be
funny.
very annoyed with you because they'd all know exactly what you're doing.
You're like, no, this is not a joke. This is for serious medieval reenactments.
It's
Only.
most certainly a joke.
It's not a game.
No smiling.
You need one person who is
I mean,
dressed like a table.
All right. You got me there. That was bold. That was a
There's like a
bold
table
idea.
around them, and then you
I mean-
roll on the table, and you put the meads on the table,
Oh,
and
wow.
they
Oh,
have
that's
the
pretty
minis
good.
on the table, and
They're
you
all
walk around the whole fair like that.
That's pretty good.
That's incredible.
But no, when I worked at the Renaissance Festival, yeah, everyone was super serious about like, no, this is a reenactment of this window of time. And
What is that window of time? Tell me.
It's like an 800-year period. It's like,
I would argue it's somewhere like 1500 to 1550-ish.
I was gonna say 14 to 16.
Yeah, I guess
but you
that's
can
right.
also go dress like an 11th century knight.
Dude, what the
Yeah, but you're
fuck
the
is up with all
customer.
the
You can show up.
fucking-
I think it's
Somebody
steampunk
showed up as
motherfuckers.
medieval Batman.
This is a perfect time for me to fucking gripe about all the people who go to the Renaissance Fair is like steampunk shit or Doctor Who.
Oh god.
It's like very clever. Very clever. You go to let's like going to Disney World as like you know I don't know, some freaking other franchise that's not Disney.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah. Yeah. You go to Disneyland as a minion and it's like and everyone's like, you expect people to like congratulate you on how witty you are.
Yeah.
You know, you're like, wow, that's clever. I did not see a minion here. I did not realize that would work. You know.
to be fair, the first time you see Doctor Who at a Ren Fair,
Dude, the doctor
your brain goes, ha.
you're like very clever. Yes. I mean, I know maybe the Doctor Who is like, okay, like sure, time travel. Okay. But steampunk.
Or
Get out.
Or medieval Batman or medieval Wolverine.
Yeah, no.
Once
pushing
the
it. It's really
costume
pushing
is
it.
cool.
Look, Marvel and DC have become so corporate
Yeah.
that like it's
Wait,
kind of like when I was like,
were they not?
They weren't. Not the 90s.
When it was
Okay.
just a scrappy, cheaply printed comic, there was some charm. But then the 90s cartoons, I don't know.
The cartoons
You
kind
know, whatever. I'm not going to weigh in on that too much.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
Gonna leave that
Okay.
one on the table.
I'm just saying,
Yeah.
steampunk people, stay
on
away,
the costume
please.
table.
Yeah, I mean that wasn't even a time, you know, even in time
That's
travel.
fantasy. That's just fantasy of the wrong time period.
Yeah.
It's like Western 1800s fantasy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
It's-
doesn't make any
yeah.
sense.
No, it does not make sense.
Hey,
I mean,
maybe
you could
And no
you could
anime.
go- You could go
No
as
anime.
you could
No,
go
I
as
want to go as a
anime.
manga, not as an anime.
Yeah, no anime people.
you could go as Western Marty. You could go as Western Marty McFly, maybe.
Maybe Western Marty McFly. I know, but you're
That was
really
about as
pushing
close
it.
You're
as you
pushing
could
that
get.
because now you need a train.
Yeah,
It's like I didn't want this experience. I just want some dusty people with tunics and stuff
Yeah.
chilling.
The Ren Fair is for
Throwing
me to go
axes.
experience nights. If you
Yeah.
want to be an anime person, I'll go to Anime
Go
Expo.
to go to
Yeah.
Anime Expo. Dress up and go there.
Well, they didn't. Okay, just so you guys know, they didn't. I mean, the
Wait,
1500s.
Just imagine me.
They
I'm a Renaissance man, and I see,
You're that
I
Renaissance
see Marty
man.
McFly,
Mhm.
wearing like a popper, like a little funny hat or something. Like he traveled in time back then. Like my reaction would be the same as someone of the time, where I would try and burn them. Because they're a witch. Like I have the same sensation. Like you do not belong here.
You're also-
It's like
you're
that's
also-
you're in one situation you're breaking the reality of someone else. In this one, you're breaking my illusion. And it's like it's very it's very bad to do that.
But you're also watching the night events at Ren fairs. If the Ren fair is supposed to happen in the Renaissance, which is from about 1450 onward,
Yeah.
then the night battles are like 200 years prior to that, especially with a lot of the way that they dress, unless they're in the full shining like silver metal where every piece is covered and it's that really light armor. That was like mid 1400s.
Well, maybe, Jake, maybe. Just like
Maybe.
we have recreations of like cowboy duels, maybe we're actually seeing
They
is the
weren't doing that.
recreation. No. See, at the Renaissance Fair, it's a perfect recreation of that time in the Renaissance.
Perfect.
When they had fairs where they did historical recreations of jousting from 200
They
years
didn't
prior
do
to that.
historical recreations of jousting from 200 years ago, did they?
That's what they're gonna say about
I mean,
us.
probably actually. I don't. Let's
Why
be
didn't
real.
they just do jousting with the tools that they had?
I don't think jousting ever has gone out of style. There's probably been at least one joust
We have a whole
year.
video about how
ever since
jousting is still in style.
Jousting never stopped.
Jousting kind of came in the 11th century, and it's been popular since then.
Yeah, you can probably find a joust anywhere at any given year.
Jousting
now
has
and
had
back
the
then.
same fashion
You can probably
for
find it in the
1,000
Bronze
years.
Age somewhere.
Yeah, they kept the tradition alive.
Okay, so yeah, like I think, yeah, the jousting is like a little bit, definitely just a little bit earlier. But once again, think about like if it's a Renaissance fair too, by the way, you know, what if it's like an early Renaissance fair? Like it's like, right. It's no, I mean, just saying it's like right when that Renaissance is kicking off.
Yeah.
It's the Renaissance, but a lot of society still hasn't like kind of conformed, you know, or like it's still in early adoption stages.
The Dark Ages.
So that way, like you still got your jousting, you still have all your, you know, sports.
We're on the cusp of the Enlightenment.
We're on the cusp of the Enlightenment, but not quite yet. So you still have this beautiful blending of two worlds.
What
That's
a
my
dynamic,
pitch.
vibrant time. If I was Doctor Who, I would definitely go to that point in time.
Yeah, me too. Like if I could travel in time to any point in time, it'd be then.
Get an uncurable cold.
Give them uncurable cold.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, give them an uncurable cold and a nice
Give them
wart.
the 2020 cold.
I would,
Yeah.
I would bring COVID back to those times.
Why would you do
You know
that?
what? It
No,
would
I'm just-
actually.
that's just a dumb. That was like
that
an
would
easy
make
joke.
that would make
We would
us
now
that would change
only
a
be
lot
able to
if you
do
did
that.
those are just like easy shocking jokes to say.
because then
Oh,
it would
man.
have been around for 500 years by the time that we got it. So
Yeah, we've helped prevent it.
we'd be like, oh,
Yeah.
it's fine.
Very true.
Oh, that's
God.
funny. Yeah, I don't know. I do respect all the work that goes into those costumes, though. I mean,
Oh, they're
especially like
beautiful.
the guys who are actually doing, some of the bludgeoning and the battles with the swords and stuff. I mean,
Or they're
A
going to
lot
talk
of that-
about like the gears and the top hat and the goggles that you put.
no.
Are you talking
No,
about
not
like gluing all those gears to your hat takes so freaking long?
No, we had an opportunity we were going to do this medieval piece, and
Yeah,
like if you like just if you're listening and you like steampunk, steampunk's cool.
Good for you, man.
That's fine. We're talking
just
about it in the
leave the
context
hat,
of,
leave the
of
hat
like
at home. Okay,
of
leave the
just
hat
like
at home.
the wrong. There's a right place and a right time for everything. That's all I'm gonna say.
There's at least one person we know who's probably into steampunk stuff and wears steampunk stuff to the Renaissance Festival, and they're just like, oh,
damn.
man.
Damn it.
guys.
Come on, start a steampunk festival. Like go to a boiler room and invite everyone down there, right?
Hey guys, I found a sick boiler room. I'm gonna
Yeah,
have
like
a
a
fair
boiler room?
down here.
This is
There's
freaking hot.
there's like a real. I got like it's actual, it's an actual
boiler
water
room?
heater. It's like actually making steam. Sorry,
a party on a train.
what a low blow. No, but I mean there are places like that. You guys have been to that. Remember that one place in downtown?
Yeah, the something nickel or something like that.
Yeah, the what's it called? There's something nickel. I forget what it's called.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yep.
That was the most steampunky place I've ever been.
You could go there with the hat.
You could go there. Yes, you could go there. And it's really cool. It's very high end. It doesn't feel cheap,
We'll put a quick list of places you can go with that hat in the comments or in the description of the video.
Yeah.
Where's it appropriate? Hey guys, I have this top hat with gears that took a long time for me to glue to this hat. Where can I wear this appropriately? What places can I go to wear this appropriately?
I need a list.
There's 3, maybe
Top
4
3.
places you could go with that
It's like
I need a
hat.
top
on.
3 list.
Oh, fuck. Oh boy.
Well, I guess we know
So
what
when
we're
is
doing in
steampunk?
season 3.
So season 3's gonna have steampunk, right?
Yeah, we're gonna do artificers and shit like that, like the little dwarves with gears. They build like
The
magic
multi-layer
contraptions.
glasses.
Hey, you,
I mean,
you
that
did
is-
make
it
us.
is a
You
part.
did make us get a gear in episode 1, and I was thinking it was going that way for a second.
No, I did not. I
for
did
a
not,
lift.
no. Yeah, it's like an actual the idea is that it was a functional like gear
Yeah.
kind of situation.
Gosh.
That's funny.
Oh man.
Good
Well,
stuff.
if you haven't watched episode 1 and 2,
Yeah, go take a
definitely go
look.
check them out. And then we're gonna be dropping episodes weekly, starting on Wednesday, 2 days from now,
Yeah.
on the 21st. If I have do I have my dates right? On
You
the
said
19th.
21st.
No.
Oh my god, you
Wait,
keep changing
I'm
that.
so
on me.
bad at this.
I told somebody 20th. You corrected me and said 21st.
21st. I had my calendar on the wrong month. On the 21st, episode 3 is going to drop. Then they're going to be weekly all the way to November
Oh, it's called
Business
the
weeks
Edison.
or full weeks?
The Edison, that's the place.
It's called the Edison.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Right.
that's right.
that's what it was. That's where you can go.
It is called the Edison. It is appropriate.
The Edison's on CorridorDigital.com. What?
Sorry. Tangents. No, Son of a Dungeon's on CorridorDigital.com. But from season 1 to season 2, green screen was built, aperture lighting came out with new lights, and we hooked them up and shot the whole thing.
Wait
with
till you
that.
see the lighting that I have planned for season 3.
We shot new cameras. We had a PTZ camera, aka
Yeah.
a remote
Mhm.
control camera for
want another.
game board shots. We had new sound systems. We had a bunch
New
of
costumes.
new minis. We had new 3D printed minis, I believe. We had
Yep.
new costumes. We had new props. We had a
New
whole
table.
new tracking system. We had a whole new table. We had new
New
compositors.
VFX software.
New editors.
VFX software. We did it on Nuke, on
Mhm.
the first season.
Yeah.
Unreal Engine 5 versus Unreal Engine 4.
Mm-hmm. We got
mean-
a donkey.
We got Donkey, multiple new editors. Yeah, just the insane amount,
It just expanded.
everything, and all of that is only possible because of people subscribing on the website. That's what we get to do when we have actual direct relationship with our audience, and we don't have to go through a Netflix to make a show or a Hulu or anything like that.
That's the promise of a low impact
Right.
show.
Definitely not a low impact show. It was an
Yeah.
awesome show, but I'm just when I think about that, the fact that we got to add all of that to this because of
Mhm.
people's support and making it.
It's wonderful.
Pretty wacky stuff in a cool way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's super
Yeah.
sweet. It's super
Surreal.
sweet.
I personally am really appreciative of all the subscribers on the website
Mhm.
because I no longer get paid through the AdSense of Corridor Crew.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, but it's true. It's there's actual subscribers and they actually support us.
I still
and we
remember
actually make a
the
show. It's
blast.
pretty
Oh,
nuts.
it sucks that this is coming out after and we're not actually getting to experience this yet. But it's the explosion of the website when the first episode dropped. The website crashed
Oh right.
and just so many people flooded in.
Oh, we should make sure Scott's ready.
Yeah,
I forgot
he's
about
ready.
that.
He's
When
ready.
the YouTube premiere ends on episode 1, there is the biggest spike of
Yeah.
traffic.
Yeah.
To the website.
So, question. I want to confirm this because I think I know the answer. The plan is episode 1, the same time on website and YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
It's a live chat,
I believe so.
right?
Well, that will
Yeah,
already happen.
we're-
by the
we
time
are-
this
we
We'll
comes
are
talk
out.
about this after.
You will
I know.
know.
I'm bringing them into this conversation, guys. That's
Okay.
why I'm doing it now.
Yeah.
And then the plan is to do that on episode 2 on the same day,
Mhm.
Episode 2 is out on the same day.
but
on the
just
website.
right after.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then all the episodes on the website will have live chat on their first viewing,
Will they?
right?
That's been the idea. And tomorrow, the day before this all goes down, we are going to make a final decision on that. And by the time
Great.
that you're hearing this, the decision will have been made. So let us know in the comments below if we actually did what we were hoping to do. 'cause
There's definitely a bit of a
don't know.
technology thing to figure out in the process. So, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
I
just-
love it. If we can pull
it's-
it off, I really love the idea.
I like the idea. There are some restrictions and some limitations and some things we got to talk about tomorrow. But
Mm.
part of the best part about this is that every season, every episode, we're getting better, and
Thank God.
we might not. You could spend 10 years trying to do one thing perfectly, and it would never happen because you spent you nitpicked every little thing about it. Thing is, we got a great show. It's coming out, and it's gonna be great. So that's
Special
all I
show.
know. Yeah.
It's a special show.
Yeah.
It's going to be amazingly entertaining. There's nothing else like it. So,
It really is.
I mean, let's be real. If you're listening to this podcast, you're going to like it. You should go check
Yeah.
it out.
You are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're a Truton, you're here with us, chilling in the CorridorCast, you're going to like Son of a Dungeon.
we cut out
That's
all
right.
the things that are boring about D&D.
I mean, that's really it.
and kept all the fun things.
Yeah, here's how it works.
Oh,
You
we
play
kept a
D&D
couple
game,
boring
you
things
cut out
in
all the
there just
boring
to
things,
balance it
you keep
out.
the good stuff, and you throw some sick VFX shots and sick Unreal Engine renders to
Yeah.
illustrate it. Yep.
There you
It's
go.
like, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Just takes about 10 months to do that, but we did it.
Takes a while. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Takes a little
my
time.
hope for season 3 is that V1s are closer to V2s and V3s of this season's. Assuming the same team
All right,
stays.
Mr. Editor. All right, you're still in it. I can
I'm
tell.
still in
It's
it.
in your brain. You're seeing the tracks right now.
Thinking
of real
and
life.
editing.
If
right,
you look over this
Carmichael,
horizon, I can see a whole town could build right here.
Take a second, Jake.
Those V3s will be your V1s in season 3. Those V3s are gonna be a breeze.
That's right.
You've got it.
Mm.
Thanks for watching, everybody. We will see you next time.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Last thing.
Oh,
Check out
another
the
one?
season finale of Crew Cuts if you haven't. Okay, bye.
Okay,
bye.
Yeah, that was a blast.